The Creators just hit theaters this past weekend. The film is directed and co-written by Gareth Edwards, who's coming off of directing Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as well as 2014's Godzilla. This film does star John David Washington as Joshua, a U.S. Army member who, when tragedy strikes in the openings of the movie, Joshua is brought back into action as he's enlisted by the United States and their government to find the secret weapon that the AI have been building that could destroy humanity. But he learns that this is the AI have built a child called Alfie, played by Madeline Unavoyos, who then they begin to form an attachment. And then Joshua forms his own opinion on this battle between humanity and AI. Allison Janney also plays the character of Colonel Howell, who's the one who hires Joshua to go back to Asia to find this weapon, and she will do whatever it means in order for humanity to survive. You also have Ken Watanabe as Harun, an AI who is trying to make sure that the child is protected at all costs. And you also have Gemma Chan as Maya, Joshua's widow, who is an essential character to this movie. The film is 2 hours and 13 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Mac Talks Movies. Today I'm talking about The Creator. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell for the channel. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and every Monday, my box office breakdown show. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below if you've seen The Creator. Did you like The Creator? Do you like its originality? Did it just miss the mark for you entirely? Let me know in your thoughts. Also, if you've not seen, tell me, are you going to check it out this upcoming weekend? Are you waiting for word of mouth? Before you go take yourself to the theater, let me know your thoughts. Also, please like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. So I was pumped to see this movie, and the trailers really sold me. Gareth Edwards as a director itself kind of sold me on this movie. As I said, he's coming off of directing Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Godzilla. I really enjoy Rogue One. For me, it's my favorite Disney Star Wars film that they've done. And Godzilla, I really enjoyed compared to, especially to these sequels following that film. And while a lot of people don't talk about it, one of my favorite actors right now of his generation is John David Washington, who is, of course, the son of Denzel Washington. But for me, I've seen him act for so long now, all the way back when he was on Ballers on HBO, which started back in 2015. So I've been watching him act for now 8 years now, and I don't really think of Denzel now when I watch him. He's a phenomenal actor. So that's what I thought coming in. Let's get started with my review. And the first thing I want to say right off the bat is I really love this movie. And I think a lot of people have been clamoring and saying that Hollywood and the movie industry has been so brutal because all of these movies that come out are sequels, properties based on true story movies. There isn't that just flash in the pan original movie that's not based on a book, that is just literally an original film. And people have been just clamoring for Hollywood to start making movies like original films for my whole life. And while they're definitely few and far between, this is the most original movie of the entire year. Now, yes, the story itself is definitely not original. It's definitely pulling from a lot of different things, very similar. You can tell that Gareth Edwards directed Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars-like things going on in the movie. There's tie-ins like Blade Runner, Ex Machina. There's a lot of different tie-ins here. And the story itself, you've seen a lot of times, but it's the surrounding story. And the fact that Gareth Edwards, you just feel the originality from the first frame until the last frame of the movie. This film is shockingly around $80 million budget, which is just astonishing. This feels like a blockbuster, like nowadays where it's like $200-300 million budgets. This is an $80 million budget that uses every dime to enhance this movie. This is easily one of the most gorgeous, jaw-dropping films of the entire year. And that because, of course, one of the DPs, director of photography and cinematographer, is Greg Fraser, who's been one of the best cinematographers really right now working today, did the Batman, Dune, The Mandalorian, but also re-teams up with Gareth Edwards after doing Rogue One. He's an amazing DP, and the shot selections from Edwards and Fraser are phenomenal in the film. And it's just jaw-dropping from start to finish. The world building is also exquisite. The movie takes place, I think around, they say like 2065. And this, people are going to be afraid of this movie, I think, but very similar to the way I think Terminator was, which is this film feels like the near distant future. And especially we're at a time now where all these strikes are going on. And some of those reasons for the writers in SAG is due to AI and artificial intelligence. And this is right on the current news cycle right now in the world is AI. I think this movie does a really great job both showing the positives and the flaws of both AI and humans. And I don't think it paints either one as heroes or villains. It just paints them as flawed. And I do feel like that's what the movie is really great at, is painting both. There's emotion. Humans and AI can coexist, it can coexist, and the movie does show that in ways. I also think they did a really nice job of making the AI also feel like a very cultural thing. A lot of the AI that we see in the movie that become human and are kind of a mixture of, an AI and a human, like you see the kid is in the movie. A lot of them are not white, and I think they did that on purpose. There's a lot of themes here that I think are really strong. Now, yes, the movie definitely wears it on its sleeve. It's definitely in your face with messaging and themes, but I really connected with all of those messages and themes in the movie. Now, a big reason why the story itself sometimes can feel cliche, but it can be overcome is because of this really amazing cast that's brought forth by Edwards. John David Washington is great in this movie. He's clearly a leading man in Hollywood at the moment, in my opinion. And it's a shame that he really hasn't had that super big break since really BlacKkKlansman back in 2018. He was in Tenet and Malcolm and Marie, but he's really struggled to be back in the mainstream. And I hope this shows that John David Washington is a leading man in Hollywood, because he's fantastic in the movie. But the MVP of the movie by far is Madeline Yuna Voyes, and hopefully I'm saying her name right. She plays Alfie, who is the robot the AI created to stop the war between humanity and AI. And she is phenomenal in the movie. And a lot of the emotion is bare onto her character. And even more impressive is that this is her first acting role of her career. IMDb, this is her only official listing, not short film, nothing like that. And for her not to be in Hollywood and to not be a part of this cycle and see other actors, and for her to be this be her first experience, she's amazing in the movie. And the reason why you connect with this movie is obviously the bond between Joshua and Alfie, but the emotion and the innocence that Voyes brings in the Alfie character. She's phenomenal in the film, and I cannot wait to see what she does next moving forward in Hollywood. Allison Janney is one of the most, she can play a really great person, or she can play what she did when she won her Oscar for I, Tonya, a very nasty person. And in here, if you think at first she could kind of be a helpful person, but when humanity is on the line, Allison Janney can go nasty, and she is a hateable character in this movie. And the more she's in the movie, the more hateable she is. And Janney is just perfect in this role. I also really enjoyed Gemma Chan in this movie, who is, again, another just phenomenal actress who's really taking over Hollywood now the last couple of years. She's phenomenal in the film, and she's in not a huge chunk of the movie, but she is an essential character to the movie. And her also chemistry of John David Washington is also really strong. Also, always great to see Ken Watanabe. He brings another different type of innocence. We have a child who's a part of AI, and now you have an AI adult, and they both bring innocence. And Watanabe also does a great job in the movie as well. The score from Hans Zimmer is also phenomenal. Hans Zimmer loves to do these type of scores, obviously coming off of Dune, just from a couple years ago. The score is also really excellent in the movie. And it just is fascinating to watch the design of the AI, that some AI are kind of looking like humans, some do look like robots, and it just feels real, because you see even AI today kind of look like the AI in the movie, and can be a scary reality. of what will happen in decades to come. But I really enjoyed this movie. When it has its action, it's good action. The movie's never boring because you're just enthralled in the world more than even the story, which I think some people are going to complain about, that this is not a new story. And I think this story fits the movie that they're creating, this original sci-fi film, which you just never see going around. So I really love this movie. If I had a couple critiques, I said sometimes the story, you can kind of see where things are going. They kind of give surprises, and I wasn't surprised at all by some things that transpire in the third act of the movie. You can kind of see where the movie is going, which I guess is a kind of a critique of the movie. As that the story itself is definitely the least original thing going on in the entire film. But overall, I love this movie. And if you're out there, you've been clamoring for Hollywood to make movies like this, you have to show Hollywood that you really care about original movies and go see it in theaters, support the filmmaker, support the cast and crew, because this is a film that needs to be seen on the big screen. And for a film only costing $80 million, you guys definitely got to go see this movie. So The Creator, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm going to go 91% for The Creator. One of my favorite movies of the year so far. So what are your thoughts on The Creator? And I'll see you guys soon.